Welcome to A Slice of Therapy. This podcast was created with Anchor. And if you've not heard of Anchor, let me explain. It's free. It's a really easy way to make a podcast. And it helps me because I can just do this every day directly into my phone, because there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. So if you fancy making a podcast too, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. So the title of this podcast episode comes in the form of a question. And that is, are you living life on autopilot? And it's quite a provocative question, I suppose, isn't it? Are you living life on autopilot? But the answer is a really simple one. And of course it's yes. And in fact, we all are, and we all have to. The alternative to living life on autopilot would be really tricky, really draining on our resources. In terms of living life on autopilot, that's not a bad thing. It's actually a helpful thing. It's an efficient thing. If you didn't live life on autopilot, where you did things kind of second nature without really thinking of them, can you imagine the amount of resources that you'd have to use, the amount of time you'd have to take figuring stuff out all over again? So I walk into a dark room and I don't even think of it. My hand just moves up to the light switch, I flick it on, and hey presto, we have light in the room. It all happens on autopilot, and that's really helpful. I don't have to encounter the dark room and go, so what do we do in this situation? Well, I best figure this out. I wonder how to solve this. No, I'm already in this thing which is trained, where I can just go onto autopilot and flick the light switch, and I don't even really think about it. There's so much we do in life where our mind is elsewhere and our autopilot basically just takes over. And so for the most part, this is a hugely positive thing, because otherwise we'd be making a decision in every moment that our autopilot is currently running. And it would just take up so many resources, so much of our time, that we'd never get anything else done. Our autopilot is helpful. Our autopilot is a way in which we can do those kind of second nature things, those things that we're used to doing without really putting any mental energy into it. It can just kind of happen. Where there is a problem, though, with living on autopilot is, in a sense, living on autopilot, we've got some sort of programming almost, which is running us. There's the program that knows that when I walk into a dark room at night time, just to move my hand up to the light switch, and without really even thinking of it, flick the light switch and the light comes on. There's a program that's set up within me and within you, no doubt, that knows how to do that and just kicks in. And as I say, that's all well and good, but there's other programs that are running as well that also put us on autopilot. There are like belief systems and ways that we approach certain situations, or patterns of behavior or habits that are kind of getting in our way. And so those autopilots are still running, but those ones perhaps are less than helpful to us. And so a big part of change, I suppose, is identifying which of those autopilots, those beliefs, those patterns of behavior, those habits that we're doing without thinking, because that's how autopilot is meant to work, and identifying those things that we would like to be different, that we would like to kind of update in our programming. And once we identify those and bring them into awareness, we can then decide how we would like to be operating instead. Like with any program that one updates, if you notice there's something in the system, if you like, that worked really well back then, but now on our new computer, it's it's not working, it's a bit glitchy now, and we could do with updating it. Or any kind of upgrade in software, you have to think through how you'd like it to work instead. And so we're all living on autopilot because it's helpful to, because we probably wouldn't get a lot done if we weren't, but hidden away in that programming there is stuff that we probably like to upgrade. And so once we identify the parts of our autopilot that we would like to be different, it then allows us to design something new, something that isn't going to be getting in our way anymore, but is actually going to give us the result that we want. And so a big part of recognizing that we are actually an autopilot is to identify those things, because once we've identified them, we can then decide in the here and now, not like a decision from like many years ago when that old programming made a lot more sense. But now, in our current situation, we can decide what it is that we want, what we'd like our beliefs to be that will actually spare us forward, and what we'd like our habits to be that will get us to where we would actually like to be in life. And so if you like this episode, then feel free to share it. You can subscribe to the podcast wherever you subscribe to them, wherever you get your podcasts. You can watch them as videos. That's at sliceoftherapy.com. And you can work with me one-to-one if you'd like to. I'm Alun Parry, and you can find out more about me and my practice at Liverpool's Psychotherapy.co.uk. So thanks for listening, and I'll be back with another one tomorrow.